Live at 5:02 as opposed to 5:01. That's not so bad. So happy to be here. You can hear that Tishy wants to be with us as well, so I'm going to get her over here. Come on. Want to join us? I was stunned. My clock is running slow. I'm starting to think it's not the batteries, it's the clock. I know it's like probably 20 years old, and it was my mom's clock. When she passed away, I kind of inherited a clock. But apparently it's about ready to bite the bullet, so bite the big one, whatever, kick the bucket. So I'm going to lose it. But welcome to Living in the Light. And I'm so glad to be back for the second day. I am no more prepared for today as I was for yesterday because I was very busy getting ready for today for our Dia de los Muertos. And I just had a wonderful visit with Tristan as we celebrated and with our Florida family, and talked a little bit about the people and pets and whatever that we love, inviting them to come with us and be with us and share about the lives of those who we love. And we had tacos. Well, it's Mexican. What did you expect? One of Sammy's favorite foods, of course, better than that would have been taco salad, but you know, there come those days when you don't have time to get to the store, and I will talk about that in another minute. But I want to tell you how meaningful it was and how grateful I am to Suzanne, to Tristan's grandmother, for cooperating and helping to create something that I hope Tristan will remember for a very long time. And in my preparation for it, I made an ofrenda. And I wanted to show it to you because that's kind of like having you share this holiday with me a little bit. I'm moving my camera, and I'm going to tilt it up so I can show off a little bit about what's on there. So I'm going to stand up and see if I can point out a few things. And so, here, oh, I don't show up very much, or do I now? Okay, here. No, that doesn't work either. Hold on. Hold on, I ain't no quitter. We'll put this here. See if we can get a good view. There we go. That's my whole thing. And it has all the symbols on it. Remember what we talked about yesterday? Fire, earth, air, and water. We've got a water glass up there for refreshing the souls of those we love as we invite them, it's actually spirits, to come back and join with us. And it's got earth, which is a little circle of friends here I have. It's got air, which is a little doily I found. That works pretty well. And fire, water, earth, no, fire, water, air, earth. They're all there. And then we have the salt, which is for purification. And I have a little special, that's a Mexican little figurine that's important at this time. Oh, where did it go? Hang on a minute. Oh, I put my marigold outside. I brought my marigold in, but then I put it out because I think it likes it better outside than inside. And I have pictures. My mom and dad are up there. We talked a little bit about my mom and dad and how wonderful and lucky I was to fall into having them as my parents, or being drawn to them, or maybe even picked them. We remember that. And this is from my grandparents. It is my grandparents' coffee or tea mug or whatever that I enjoyed many, many times at my grandma's house. My little sister Melissa, who has passed on to the other side. And of course, Sammy, who, this was her at a Mexican restaurant on like her 16th birthday, I think. That was at, for those of you who are not familiar, oh shoot, I got to think of the name. I may think of it when I put it back there. There we go. It was Puerto Vallarta in Middletown. And when it's your birthday, they make you wear a sombrero and they sing happy birthday, which makes you feel like a total jerk. Okay, so did you do anything for Dia de los Muertos today, or for Remembrance Day, or for All Souls Day? You know, if you didn't, I'm so sorry. You missed out on a great opportunity. As we go through our lives, we want to remember both the mundane, the everyday things, and the spiritual. Having a connection between our spiritual side and our physical everyday lives helps us to understand more and to lift ourselves up, which is why I call this life on the light side. And for those of you who are watching, I just want to give you a little heads up. First of all, if you go to YouTube and watch this, you'll see an opportunity to subscribe, so you make sure you don't miss any of our visits. And also know that in here, I cannot see your, what does this say? The current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate 15 to 16. Well, I don't know how to do that. So that may be affecting our video. Hang on, we're going to learn together. So it says learn more. And it's telling me, okay, specifications for live video. I don't know, I did something wrong. So choose from the following resolution. What the heck do I know? Well, if it said it was too low, then I would imagine I need higher, right? I'll pick the highest one. Okay. Will that make a difference? I don't know. But I'm back, and it's still there, so it's saying too low. So whatever is needed, I apologize. Hopefully you'll be getting a decent feed here, and you can always make comments later and we can look at it. Lordy, I hope I don't have to do this whole thing over. In any event, we're here now, we're together, and I wanted to take you one step further on living in the light. So a piece of that is connecting with our past, with our present, with our future, with all eternity, as we do on Dia de los Muertos. So we're connecting with our loved ones, and we invited them, and know that their spirit was with us as we celebrated. And it's so nice to know that neither time, nor space, nor life, nor death can really separate us. And one of the most important things about Dia de los Muertos is to, and Remembrance Day, and All Souls Day, whatever we call it, is to remember that our connection is eternal. And it's also a time to invite those loved ones to come visit us in our dreams. So there was another thing that I did today, and I hope you did it too, and that is vote. Where is it? Vote. I voted first thing in the morning, and that is something I wanted to talk about. When I voted today, it was difficult because we have, for the past 5 years, had shade thrown on our voting process, on the honesty. It did not matter, however many checks it took, and yeah, check it, audit it, whatever, you audit it, whoever. The sad part was, all the proof that is offered doesn't matter. And that doesn't bring truth. Truth is truth. An election that is tainted, it would have come up by now. So if I offend you, I apologize. I'm sorry, it was a fair election. But as I cast my vote today, I wondered what's going to happen tomorrow. Will there be questions about this election and who really won when it really is done very carefully? It is to spit in the eye of the people who care about our elections and work toward right outcomes. And I'm sorry, but sore losers are just not welcome. You gotta gripe, then you better start working toward the government that you would like. Fight, take over? No. Work for what works for all. And I've told you this before, but I'm going to be real straight up about it again in case you didn't hear me before. I am a conservative Democrat. And I also consider my vote rather independent. So I vote for whoever I feel most reflects my values. Now, there's a couple politicians in town that I personally know and actually like. And there's one on either side. Can you imagine only liking one side of a coin? One side of a pancake? It doesn't work that way. We need to work together. If you only had the front of a $100,000 bill, it wouldn't matter if you didn't have the back. It has no value. Our value comes from the ability to come together. So for those of you who are fighting or voting by party, not by knowledge of what the person you're voting for's history is, how they vote, why they vote, are they looking out for the people, are they looking out for themselves, who's going to benefit? As long as you are putting personality before principle, the outcome will not be good. And to that one candidate from the Republican Party that I could not vote for, if I wanted to, I don't, because until and unless we call for truth before party, for the people before the party, can't vote for you. So it's kind of crazy, isn't it? So if I offended you, I apologize. This is just my platform. We need both Republicans and Democrats. And independents. Kind of like a trinity, isn't it? I'll think on that for a while. But we need them all, and we need them all to work together. I've said it over and over again. So, vote. Vote your conscience, not your ego. Vote for the highest good of the people. You know what I always wondered? What if a bill came up in Congress and you didn't know which party came up with it, which party supported it? Do you think that your vote would be different? Because if you're voting because a person or a party said it was the thing to do, but you either didn't understand it, didn't know it clearly enough, or was just taking their word for it, consider the possibility you're making a mistake. Well, I didn't mean to get into all that, I'll tell you right now, and probably is anybody out there still caring to listen to me? Of course, that error message is still up there, so as far as I know, is anybody out there even seeing me? But I'll find out at the end when I redo it, and if I have to, when I review it, and if I have to, I'll redo it, which I hate to do. So, let's get on something better, like the National Day calendar. Okay, today is National Ohio Day. Well, to all our friends in Ohio, whoop-de-doo. It is National Deviled Egg Day. And to all of those who love deviled eggs, good for you. And it's National Broadcast Professionals Day today. And that's something that I really think deserves a little attention because, you know, the media gets a lot of dirt slung at it, especially during election times. We count on them to tell the truth. It doesn't mean they do. And I guess, unfortunately, in these times, it is important that we do check up on what they say before we flat out buy it. But I honor and respect the broadcast professionals, and I'm hoping I got the right thing. You know, you think about, for a minute, I'm still celebrating my my Dia de los Muertos family and everything. So I'll have a little sip. Think about a sower, because there's a scripture about that. That a sower went out and he sowed some seed. It's a parable, and it goes on to say that some of the stuff fell on the rocks, some fell on the pathway, some, you know, some was eaten up by the birds, and some of it fell on good soil and had the opportunity to soak in its roots. Every day we're sowing, like the sower, sowing seeds. We're sowing with our words. We're sowing with our actions. We're sowing with our thoughts. We are receiving other people's seeds of thoughts. So how important as these broadcasters are setting out seed. Are they good seed? Are they positive seed that can feed and support and make us stronger? Or are they weed seeds? Or vines that will choke out the things that we want to grow? The good news is we have the choice to decide, is that a weed or is that a seed? Is that a good thing or is that a not good thing? We have that choice. So I want you to really call upon you to know that, and to, before you cast your vote, before you speak words to someone else, make sure you know what you speak, because you too are a broadcaster. You may not be a broadcasting professional. Other thing, we have got not only the right, but the responsibility to hold our broadcasters accountable. There are a lot of people out there, stations that flat out lie. Blatantly, huge, big, and they don't care. They know what they're saying isn't true. Some of that can be deadly, like the lies that are going around about the vaccines. Not good. People die because of that. So we want to, before we buy something, don't just be like a fish that opens up and chomps down on whatever is there. You better check it out, because it could be a hook. Could be. I remember my dad was a fisherman, not like a huge fisherman, but he liked to fish. And he had these different kinds of, what did he call them? It's not bait. What are they, flies and stuff like that? What do they call those things? Anyway, somebody tell me in the comments if you're listening, and I'll hear it later. But he would throw out the thing, and some of them were called spinners, and some were called shiners, so they'd attract the fish's attention. Well, if the fish were not paying a little bit of attention, they wound up with a hook right in their mouth, and they got reeled in. So before we swallow any interesting looking bait, we want to make sure it's good bait, right? Where have I gone? I have gone so far off my intended path today, and it looks like I have gone. Have I gone overtime? 18 minutes. No, I have not gone overtime yet. So let's go back to living in the light, okay? I was, you know, did you ever wonder, like, how did that happen? Funny thing happened the other day. I don't think it was today. I think it was yesterday. I was talking to Suzanne, who is Tristan's grandmother, and I sent something to him, and I sent a little, Sammy had a little cowboy boot glass, like a drinking glass. And apparently I did not pack it carefully enough, and it did not get handled carefully enough. And when it arrived, it was broken. And a piece of my heart was broken because I love that glass and I wanted Tristan to have it. But, you know, you look at it and it's done, and you can moan about it for months, and you can agonize, and you can say that's not fair, blame the post office, blame myself for not packing it, whatever. The bottom is, as I told her, it is what it is. It's done. Oddly enough, she took a picture of the shirt she was wearing. What did it say? It is what it is. That's what we call divine order. When we are living in the light, when we're living in higher consciousness, we're going to find that kind of stuff happens all the time. And it's very exciting because it strengthens the ties that bind and reunite us beyond what we consider to be our differences. So a little coincidence I had yesterday, I started doing this series, Living in the Light. And this morning, I had my scripture reading for today in my little, in my devotional, and it came up to Ephesians 5. And it was a long reading, and I go, oh, Lordy, why do I have to do these long readings? Because I want to chew it up a little bit. I don't want to just try to absorb so much. But it was no surprise to me that I read things such as, for once you were in darkness, but now in the Lord you are in light. Live as children of light, for the fruit of the light is found in all that is good and right and true. So do you want to be living in the light? Or do you want to live in the shadows and darkness of the pain and despair that we have been experiencing for the past several years? When will it end? It doesn't matter when it will end, because every day we make a decision to live in the light. And I made that decision. And yes, I have my moments of darkness, but you know, in those moments of darkness, that's when we have to think about the light side. In this experience that I'm having, what can I learn from it? Because if we don't learn, we're just going to keep on banging our heads against the wall. So even when it's a crappy experience, when we're thinking this is not fair, the more that we learn to stand on what we do know and trust what we don't know. And that's one of the best things about living in the light, living on your spiritual path. Doesn't matter if you're taking your first step today or your 500 millionth step today. Because together, we can all walk in the light. We can all live in the light. And eventually, like the story of the 100th monkey, one day that the scales will tilt and we will shift to having everyone living in the light. I believe that. And so anyway, I want to share one last thing with you. You know, now that we're done for all rights and purposes at the office, it will never end. During the course of the winter, I'll do the newsletters and we'll review policies and stuff like that for the coming year. But I don't have to go to the office for 12 hours a day or 10 hours a day or what is normal for me. So I have the opportunity to do all the things I can't do during the camping season. One of those things is cleaning the house. And I know I find when my house is clean, neat, presentable, might I say, that I am more peaceful and such. And I've got to tell you the best cleaning tip you ever could have. Are you ready? Are you sure? Got anything you need to clean? I got the secret. Invite company over. If you invite company over, let me tell you something, you will have that house picked up and ready to go by the time they get there. Oh, the deep cleaning might not be done, but once you get that basic clean enough for company, you'll be ready and inspired to do the deeper stuff. Same thing is true in our lives. If we got little stuff we got to clean up now. And then you can just swim through the rest knowing that your load is lightened. All right, that's it for today. Hoping I got something. If not, I'm going to do this whole thing all over again. Why? Because I like you. And I want to share with you how great it is to be living in the light. So until tomorrow, have a great day, and God bless you good.